Hi everyone, my name is Richie Averill, your MicDrop host, and I would like to welcome you to our divorce series. This topic is not an easy one to discuss, but it's important that we talk about situations like this, which are complex for both consumers and realtors involved. For our first video in this series, we're joined by Joan Rogliano. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
And we're going to go ahead and jump right in. So Joan, why is the topic of divorce so important for homeowners?
It is extremely important, and I've been doing this for 13 years,
Wow.
as we just talked about. And I work with a lot of family law attorneys, and they frequently tell me that the number one call a family makes when they're getting a divorce is not to an attorney, it is to a realtor.
To a realtor.
Because everybody wants to know if they're going to have a roof over their
Right.
heads.
Yeah.
So it's just very, very important.
So, since it's so important, what should homeowners do or couples do when a divorce is on the horizon?
Well, dealing with a marital home is not an isolated part. It is all the pieces of the divorce are connected.
Mm-hmm.
So I, first of all, suggest that my mantra for 13 years has been divorce takes a team.
Yeah.
And you have to have a team that is going to be very collaborative,
Okay.
that is going to be working together, advocating for this family, helping them to make really informed decisions about what their future is going to be looking like. And I think it's really important that each of the team members sticks with their specialty while working collaboratively.
Yeah. Good to know. What are some choices that homeowners have, divorcing couples have for the sale of their home? And if you had to pick, what would be the best choice?
Well, I believe that divorce is customized and it looks different for everybody.
Yeah.
One size does not fit all. I do want to dispel a myth which people have, and that is the house absolutely has to go. There is no alternative, and that frequently is not the case. And in fact, that's not what people choose.
Right.
Frequently, somebody wants to keep the house.
Yeah.
So the choices are they sell and wipe the slate clean, so to speak, and everybody moves on. Or someone can buy someone out. Someone can stay in the home on a temporary basis. If you were divorcing, you had someone in school for another 2 years. Yeah. So the decree would be written that you would stay in the home for 2 years, after which time the home would then be sold.
Gotcha.
Or you can keep the home as a rental. But that gets a little bit dicey because oftentimes there's conflict in divorce, and post-divorce the conflict could still continue. Well, if this couple owns a home together as a landlord, that might be a difficult scenario. But those are the four choices.
Yeah, difficult scenario for everyone involved,
Everybody.
including the tenant.
Including the tenant, right.
So there is a lot of anxiety, a lot of emotions in a divorce. Would you agree?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. So what are some steps, let's say 3 steps, for a couple to consider when they decide that they want to sell their marital home?
The starting point is, I'm going to go back to the team concept, that you need to assemble your team because you're going to need them to get you the information that you need to make the best decision. You also have to think long and hard about what your motivation is, what your goals are moving forward. And you also have to speak to a lender.
Yeah.
Because the lender is a really integral part, because if someone is thinking they want to keep the home, you have to know right away whether or not that's even a possibility.
Absolutely. And I'm glad that you mentioned speaking to a lender, because we're going to have a lender in as well to give us some advice and guidance through this. So that's very important. Here's a great question. What happens when the parties involved are not in agreement as to what to do with their home?
Well, I've never seen that.
I'm sure you've seen that a lot over 13
years. You do see that a lot. And this, again, we're going back to the team, because you all need to get together to help this couple come to an agreement about what the process is going to be. Unfortunately, sometimes that decision is made by the court.
Right.
And we don't want them to go there. So by speaking with a lender, by speaking with their legal provider, usually both parties have a legal provider, and if you can sit down and talk about it, I've rarely seen where that has not been worked out.
Very good to know.
Mhm.
So this has been some great advice for consumers that are looking to possibly get a divorce, currently in a divorce, and want to do with their home. So Joan, thank you so much for joining us and giving us great
My
information.
pleasure.
And we'll see you again on the next episode in this series of Mic Drops.